Hey Miranda, this is Dr. Scott. I have some feedback for you on your second essay, the visual analysis. I'm just going to kind of walk through some of the main criteria for this assignment, and I'll go through the essay and kind of explain how you did on it. The main criteria were thesis statement, using details to support your thesis statement, integrating sources, like integrating them, like working them into your writing, and then, oh shoot, there was one more. Yeah, organization, like making sure the ideas are located in your essay for like a reason, so they're not just kind of like thrown in there. So what I noticed is that you have some interesting things that I think you can build your essay out of, but I think there is a fair bit of revision that's going to be needed to get this essay where it needs to go. So I got some notes over here on the side, and you'll be able to see these when you take a look at your essay on Blackboard. I think the service to the community idea is really kind of interesting. The essay doesn't really have a thesis statement at this point. You just kind of say that you like some murals, but you're not really kind of saying much about what the two murals are trying to get across and how they try to get it across. And that's really what the essay is about. So you're picking two murals. They're going to have some kind of message, like, or something that they're trying to inspire, or some emotion that they're trying to get people to feel. I like the idea of the service to the community. Like, so the questions that I asked you about that are like, what's the service that they provide? And then how do they provide it? That how is going to be essential for your essay, because your answer to the how becomes your body paragraphs, more or less. Like one way that they get it across, or one way how they get, a certain idea across is maybe by showing emotional appeals, like being able to show facial expressions that are trying to evoke some kind of emotion out of us. So there's a long ways to go as far as like having a thesis statement that's doing what this assignment needs you to do, which is to focus on the murals and to make a claim about the murals. You have a subject, which is two murals. You don't really have much of a claim right now, and there's not much of a reason or a roadmap that kind of shows how they got that thing across. So that's a big issue to address, and I just kind of want to get that done up front so that you know that you need to work on it. Okay. I like this paragraph is kind of funny. It was like, yeah, I am a teacher that totally made students go to the flood wall murals, just like teachers of years before, and I will probably bring them out there again. I think some of the stuff is interesting for an introduction, but as far as a body paragraph, the body paragraph should only be kind of supporting what your thesis statement is, and not much of this does that. So it probably needs to get moved or to get cut. An important criteria for this assignment was integrating sources, and so I talked about the quote sandwich idea, which is where you're transitioning from a source, or from your ideas to a source. There's also that Stedman essay, like the annoying ways people use sources, and you're doing one of those annoyances thing. You've got a quote, and there's nothing kind of before it that's kind of telling us what's coming up. So that needs quite a bit of work. I do like that you're talking about the source afterwards, but there needs to be much more kind of explanation going before. I'd kind of like to see more discussion of your sources, and I don't know if this source is going to be one that you can use in the revision. The sources I was hoping that people would use would be the documentary, the Drew Fight essay about the flood wall murals, and then there was that Conrad piece that was about like what murals teach people, and I think that's really what I had in mind as far as the sources that you use. This here gets you to talk about the history, but it's not really getting you to talk about the murals themselves. And so, yeah, I think these may not work. When you do integrate a source, though, there needs to be some connection to your thoughts already, and then there needs to be more discussion going afterwards. I guess a question I have about the murals that you selected is like, what connects them? It just seems like what connects them is that you like them. But I'm not sure that's not going to be enough. What about these are they trying to get? What are they trying to say about Portsmouth by having these two murals there? That's something for you to think about. I think that there's something there. I know other folks have written about like how those two murals show like a before after, like how strong the town is or how resilient it is, like it bounces back from things. But I'm not sure You're not making those claims here. And I'm curious, like, what it is you think connects those two murals. If there's nothing, you might consider picking different murals to write about. There should be some kind of connection there. Towards the end of the essay, there's still issues with how you're integrating sources, and I think some of this information is coming from the documentary, and if that's the case, you need to cite it. Let us know where it comes from. All right, Miranda, so there's a lot of work left to be done. I'm glad that you got something in. It gives us a starting point. The next step is to kind of figure out what argument you're trying to get across about the murals and how they try and how the murals kind of convey that message that you think it conveys. So the thesis statement needs to have this mural and this mural. They accomplished this and they did it effectively or ineffectively, or it was problematic, or it was interesting, or it was a confusing message, and here's how they did it. And the how is the thing that's really important, and it's also the thing that seems to be tripping some folks up. So there'll be time in class tomorrow for you to work on your essay, to work on this essay, and maybe even work a little bit on the next one. So make sure that you ask me some good questions about my feedback here, and things that are unclear, let me know. All right, that's it for now. I will, well, hold on, I'm a liar. Let me show you grade stuff, just so you know where the essay's at. There's a fair bit of work that needs to get done here, so I don't want you to freak out when you see the grade. So here we are. I'll go to the rubric. So thesis, there really isn't one there yet. I see that you're writing about two murals, but I don't know what it is you're trying to say about those two murals. Supporting details, I give you a close to satisfactory there because you are able to write about details in some places. They're not really supporting a thesis statement yet, so there's a fair bit of work to go there. Organization, there's not really a rationale or a reason like how or why you're moving from one paragraph to another. Like, it seems like you could have just rearranged the paragraphs in different places and it wouldn't have mattered much. In your revision, there needs to be a pretty clear reason why we're going from one paragraph to another. So maybe it's like one way that the murals get that message across was the most effective way that they got a message across was doing this one thing, like using colors or facial expressions. That's the most important. And then maybe the less successful way that they got their message across was this. Or there was something that contradicted that message. Like, there just needs to be some reason for how you have ideas placed in the way that you have them. Source integration is not there just yet, and you're close to satisfactory. You got images in there, and I think you got images in there. Let's see, go back. No, you didn't. Okay, shoot. Yeah, so you need to get images inserted into your essay, which is not that big a deal. And there also needs to be a list of works cited, so I'd probably move that down to not close just yet. All right, so the revision is going to be due Monday, October the 23rd. And there'll be time on Monday, and I think there might be some time on Wednesday for you to work on this as well. All right, that's it for now. If you got questions, let me know in class tomorrow.